A tracheostomy is an artificial opening made in the neck to generate a communication with the windpipe or the breathing tube that communicates directly with the lung. It's done to bypass the upper airway and actually exchange air through this artificial opening into the lung. It can be done for several reasons. One reason can be to bypass upper airway obstruction. So for instance, there are infants or newborns who are born with problems with congenital anomalies where their upper airway is obstructed, either a large tongue or a mass, and you need to bypass the upper airway so that they can breathe. And so by putting a tracheostomy tube into the neck, you bypass the upper airway. There are other children who have lung disease and or heart disease who have problems sustaining their own breathing effort without help, who need to be on some type of breathing device in order to sustain themselves. And the tracheostomy tube is much more comfortable for ventilating children, infants, or adults long term with a ventilator rather than a breathing tube that goes down through their throat into their windpipe.
Once she came out of surgery and she had that trach, it was just like, calm baby, calm kid.
It was amazing.
You know, it was a total, and at that point we knew that was the best decision.
And it wasn't until he said, look at how calm she is, that I thought, oh, it doesn't matter. None of this matters, you know. She needs it. It helps her. You
know, 20 years, 30 years ago, she'd be living in the hospital.
They also need to learn how to generate care for the child, for routine care as well as for emergency care, which includes suctioning the airway, changing out the tracheostomy tubes, and how to handle potential emergencies that could result from an obstructed tracheostomy tube.
Well, they're going to have to know how to do a trach change, number one. So how to take the trach tube out and how to clean it, how to put another one in. When they're in the hospital, they'll learn how to do trach changes.
I think it was from the very beginning, is obviously you take the classes, but actually taking out a trach on a person and putting one in is intimidating. And of course, the first time we did it, we were scared. We were shaking like leaves, you know, and our confidence wasn't there. But we knew that if our confidence wasn't there, she would feed off of that and she would know something's wrong. And so we had to, as much as we could, immerse ourselves in the hospital so that we felt confident going home. And I think that in and of itself built our confidence more than we knew. We were ready to come home with her because we were able to do everything for her.
One of our goals was that we're going to make it a very positive, you know,
calm, relaxing
experience. So that comes from us first, and then once you get confident in doing it, it's just all about you presenting that confidence to her.
These children can be cared for in the home. They can learn how to phonate or speak around a tracheostomy tube, and there are some certain devices to help work with that. The family learns how to suction these kids if they don't have a very good cough to clear secretions from their lungs. They learn how to troubleshoot when the child is getting an illness associated with the tracheobronchitis, which is an infection from a foreign body sitting in the airway that's colonized with germs. They also learn how to deal with emergency situations when the tracheostomy tube inadvertently becomes dislodged or it becomes obstructed from secretions in the child's airway.
And I think the most important thing is to keep in mind that your child is still a child. And it's easy to get caught up in, you know, being their care coordinator, being their therapist, going to visits, you know, taking care of the trach, supplies. It's easy to get caught up in that. But to remember to take time to just be mom and dad, which is the most fulfilling thing, I think, for us, is that, yes, she has this needs and we have the nurses, but I can still sit on the floor with her and be her mom.
The thing to remember is that you are part of a team. You're an important part of the team, and in fact, you're probably the very most important part of the team. But you're going to have nurses that are going to help you. Your physician's going to help you. You're going to have discharge planners. People are going to get you prepared in the hospital for going home. Before you go home, we're going to come out. We're going to do education with you. We're going to check your home. We're going to make sure everything's good. We're going to make sure everything gets set up. It's a step-by-step effort, and we're all going to work together. And when you go home, you're not alone either. There's still going to be an ongoing team effort. It depends on what the physician orders and what their need is. Some kids need full support, which would be a ventilator, which does all the breathing for that child. Sometimes they're weaned down, they can do a lot more of their breathing themselves, and they might need a ventilator only at certain times, or maybe just a CPAP machine or a BiPAP machine. This child might be able to breathe completely on their own, and they might just need some humidity when they sleep. So that would be like a trach dome. So there's different levels of equipment, and we offer all of those things, and we would train the parents and the nurses exactly on the equipment that they need.
Learning our equipment, and that is huge, to learn your equipment, because probably the minute you get home or within the first couple hours, you're going to have to use it.
PHS will come out and we will do an assessment of the home. We'll check outlets, we'll check stairs, we'll make sure that it's a safe place, and we'll also help the family to know where to put equipment, where to put supplies. So we'll walk you step by step through that. If there are some changes that need to be made, we'll let you know, so that the home is safe for the equipment and for the child before they come home.
In the hospital, you have everything right by you, but everything's very different when you come home. You don't necessarily use the same supplies. Things can be used longer versus just thrown out.
And you don't necessarily tape things to the bed. You don't,
right.
you know,
It's just,
you know, we're very organized. Mm-hmm. We have a smaller house, so everything has its place. And over in her bed area, which just happens to be part of our living room, you know, all the trachs, everything you would need is right there, set up. Everybody knows exactly where that thing is. So
they can expect to have a good grasp of the equipment and their child's cares before they ever go home.
It's really no different than changing a child's diaper or fixing a new bottle for the child to feed. Parents become very, very comfortable changing out a tracheostomy tube or suctioning a child to remove excessive secretions.
It's part of your life. It just becomes second nature, like anything else that you do repetitively.
Having a good routine and getting that established does take a few months. It's not going to happen in a week. You'll be overwhelmed. But in a few months it'll happen, and then it just becomes easier and it becomes second nature.
It's empowering, because I think that once you feel like you've got a handle on this, it's like you can take your child home and you can start living your life again.
And to step back and say, you know, my child's home and they're healthy, and
yeah,
you know,
home is where it needs to be.